Hello, good morning. 7:48 in the morning, Monday morning, and I'm trying to get situated. Check this guy out. Got me a new handheld, and this sucker's really heavy. We're gonna try it out for this camera. It's a tripod, actually. So it's like a 60-inch tripod as well as a handheld. It's not one of those TikTok shop things where you can just slam it on the ground and it automatically erects itself. This one you've got to erect yourself. Let's see how she works. Okay, we got the camera on there. Tighten that guy up right there. Do I trust it? Because it's not oh, duh. That's how I do it right there. Sorry. Forgive me. Trying to get all figured out. Hey, there we go. And then to erect it, ooh, I can pull it way up. Okay, that works pretty well. Sorry, forgive me. I'm playing with toys. Pause, Diddy. All right, I just want to try this guy out because I got a feeling this is going to get very heavy very quickly. Working on my breakfast. Yeah, man. Joe with the sausage, a little sausage link action. God dang, Joe, you going to eat all of them sausages? And 2 hash browns. And you know, because I'm a fat boy, I've got a little trick that I like to do with those sausages. I like to dunk them in the maple syrup. Oh my God. Delish. All right, anyways. Enough food talk. Hey, so Monday morning, what we got going on? I need to share with you guys a couple of things off rip. So yesterday, we went and looked at that shithole apartment building where I damn near got strong-armed in the parking lot by some addicted individual, jaw in left field, unbelievably paranoid of what I was doing out there. I should have just said I was the damn police doing an investigation. I mentioned the price initially in the blind, not to the customer, but just in video where I was thinking that number was going to be at for those siding repairs and to paint that entire building. And I said that price was going to be $2,700. Well, I would end up sending him an email with the price, and that number was doubled by the time I sent it to him. One, because I don't want to do it, just off rip based on where that's at, and it has to be absolutely worth it. You know, I don't know shit about this customer. That's another thing too. When you're dealing with people off of Craigslist, one, they don't know who they're getting, and you don't know who you're getting. And when I mention playing with fire, this is about as playing with fire as it gets. You could go and do all of this work and they may not pay you when it's all over with. So the price that I ended up coming up with for that particular job was $4,500. And that's still probably too low in terms of what it's gonna take to do that work. You're looking at over $1,000 just in paint cost, or almost $1,000 just in paint. Then add in the siding and the labor. It's gonna be some work. So $4,500 was the number that I came up with. I sent that over to him, and of course, he says to me, let me try this thing out, because it's got feet, so you can, but the feet are kind of hard to get out. Testing the sucker out, that's good right there, that's nice. Keep doing that. I send the price over to this guy. He says back to me, thank you. Maybe I'll be in touch or something like that. I'm gonna get another quote. Of course you are, because $4,500 is too much. I could have told him $2,700, and that might have been too much. Buddy's probably looking to get this thing done by a pluck for a crackhead price. Probably looking at like $1,500 max you want to spend. When you own ghetto apartment buildings, you know you pay little to nothing to get any work done that you need. Look at that, nice little maple syrup action. Unbelievable. I gave him a very respectable price. You know, it's about an average price to paint a house. $4,500 being that. So We're talking about an entire building. But also, I said, hey, look, I've already put together a formal proposal for you too, so if you're okay with it, just send me your email and I'll send that over to you. Or, you know, we just cut the BS. Here's where the number's gonna be at. And of course, he would respond saying he wants to get another quote. So no big deal there. But in that proposal that I had put together, man, I needed like 25% or 33% down. And it's just because I don't even know you. And that only ended up being a little bit over $1,000. I think it was like 1,100 bucks. So you still run the risk. You do all that work for $1,100 and maybe you don't get paid in the end. I was very paranoid with that situation. And I hate to say it, but I just don't trust anybody. And why would you? You cannot. I was fearful doing the work that we just did. But that's the game that you got to play and the risk that you got to take. So anyways, probably ain't going to get that job. No big deal. No skin off of my back. I got a landscape job to go look at today. I don't really know much about it. It's 2 houses right next to each other. It's a lot of weeding. And that's all that I know. So we'll go look at that today. Maybe we can get on that for tomorrow if the price is right. I also sent our first customer a bunch of proposals for all the work that we looked at. Removing the deck, installing the exhaust fan, doing the gutter guards, downspout installation, gutter cleaning. So let me share with you some numbers in relation to all of that. For the downspouts, gutter cleaning, and gutter guards, I put that price at, I can't remember. For the gutter cleaning and repairs, I put that price at $750. It's over $300 in material, so it is what it is. And the gutter cleaning, I put that at $150, and then the install labor was at $300, fair price. Deck removal, I did not want to do this. You know, Buddy was like, hey, look out for me on the next one. Well, this was that lookout. I put that price at the $400 that he said he got the quote for. Listen, take this extreme business advice from me. Don't ever, 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 ever ask a customer what their previous bids were, even if they're telling you they've gotten quotes and those quotes were just too high. Don't even ask them. You don't want to know because they will box you in doing that. I asked, Buddy said 400, said that was too high. He could have been straight up just telling me anything. I put the price at $400 to remove and dispose of the decking in the backyard, and that is way too low. You know, what that was going to entail was some freaking illegal dumping, which it's shitty that you would have to do it that way. You got to go dump all that debris in some dumpsters somewhere because you can't lose on $100 or more in dump fees. Pressure washing the home, that was something that I had just mentioned in passing. The home had a lot of mildew on it. I put that price at $200. And then the final one is the exhaust fan, and that price is at $750 as well. Cut holes to run the electrical. We got to fish the electrical. The materials are $300. $450 for the install. What I didn't even think to mention or bring up is we got to, not only do we got to run the electrical, we got to run the exhaust vent to the exterior. We got to cut through the siding and through the sheathing and all of that to put that vent out there. $750. I sent him these quotes yesterday, man. I ain't heard nothing back. There's one additional quote that I got to send him. It's for a gate repair. This unbelievably shitty vinyl fence. All right, this is a vinyl gate that needs to be fixed. This does not screw in at all. This is actually glued to the pickets. So this whole gate needs to be replaced. Realistically, it would be best to take down all of this cheap vinyl that just freaking sucks and replace it with wood, but you can't because the neighbor's fence is the same damn way. I ain't never seen nothing so damn tacky and cheap before in my life. The fence is destroyed, the gate is. That needs to be replaced. So I'm going to send him that quote, and then I'm going to reach out and be like, hey, I sent you those other 2 quotes, or the other 4 quotes. Any thoughts on those? And he's probably going to come back and be like, yeah, they're just a little too high. Just a little too high. I'm trying to put these prices as fair as I can, and I know people are going to be like, Joe, these prices are way too low. You have no idea what you're doing. You talk too much. What is this? Joe talks about stuff. My God, the comment section is somewhat against me these days. I figured you guys would be happy to see me at least out here trying to put the fries in the bag, bro. Also, I got the freaking, look, check it out. I got the business cards, and there ain't even no business listed on here. It's just talking about me. Yo, I literally made a business card. The business is me. There it is right there. Look at that. Business is me. Look at just a smiling face right there. Yeah, man, I had to blur out some things because contact information's all over there. Yeah. And I'm saying we do concrete work. Shit. Look, I'm gonna take a note from somebody. I ain't gonna put you out there because I know you watching these videos. But I learned from a guy who had no freaking idea what he was doing. You know, when I think about the way that I was doing business, I would at least not really try to dabble in things that I don't know what I'm doing. But I saw a guy who would go out there and bid anything. Everything with no freaking idea on how to do this shit. You know what? I don't really know shit about concrete. I got plenty of plugs who could point me in the right direction though, and I'm not even talking about no little patio pads. I want to do a whole damn driveway. Because let me tell you something. In the construction game, there's only a handful of things that you could really win at. Being an electrician, being a plumber, being an HVAC technician. Those three things right there you can win at regardless. But other things are roofs and concrete. And you know what? I'm tired of nickel and diming with the bullshit. Man, let us land something big and learn it. And plus I got plenty of people I could bring on who could actually do the shit. My brother was in concrete for 30 years. He knows everything about what goes into the concrete game. So I could certainly bring him in to help me on a driveway. All we need some rebar and how to place that order for that cement mixer. Anyways, we're gonna be looking at some work today and who knows what else is coming. So hopefully this is a video that you'll enjoy. All right, on my way to go look at a landscape job right now. It's about 9:30 in the morning. And no idea what I'm really walking into. Whether it's going to be a lot or a little. I know it's two houses right next to each other. I do have some business cards on me. I want to hand those out so that I can tell them, hey, look, you know, we do a slew of other things as well. I wouldn't mind landscape work. You know, obviously we'll take whatever we can get. But and I will say that, you know, weeding flower beds is certainly not my favorite thing to do. It is what it is. I just passed a house on my street. And, you know, for years, well, the 3 years that I've lived here, I should say, I've watched the same crew of people work on that house. And it just goes to show, you know, when you find a customer that, you know, you can really rock with and who really rocks with you, man, that could lead to long-lasting work endeavors. And it certainly looks like it's done so for them folks working on the house at the end of my street. Beautiful, huge house, and got to imagine they're making really good money working for that client. Maybe one day we'll find something like that. Right now it's just all about odds and ends and whatever we can muster up. I've put a couple of more feelers out there hoping to find anything, so we'll see. It's been somewhat promising with people reaching out, but again, make no mistake, the people who are reaching out are certainly looking for the cheapest, and that's okay. You try to get in where you can fit in and make it as worth your time as you possibly can. So let's go see if we can do something like that with this potential landscape job. Here we go. Right here. Clean up on the fence lines. All right, so here's where the bulk of it really starts to come into play. Clean it all up. Cut it all down. These are all weeds. Trim it all back. Cut it all out. Weed eat it all up. All right, now back here. This is pretty crazy going back into this area. Okay. Here, cut this down. All right, back here. Cut these trees back. How deep into these sticker bushes do you gotta go? All right. All right, weed eat all around here. All around here. Again, keep in mind, you cut back all of that. Get this off of the fence line here. Yep. Clean it all up. There you go. They want this cut back. Okay. See some weeds up by that fence line. Yep. Weed eat. All right, behind this shed, cut it all down. All right, cut it all down. Huge spiders, so keep in mind those guys. Weed eat it. Weed eat it. Clean it all up. These flower beds here. And then finally, you got these right here that need to be cleaned up. They want that stump gone right there. Okay, stump gone. And weed eat everything that hasn't been weed eated. Yep. Yep. Clean up the flower beds. It's a big old weed right here. That's got to go. Okay. And then right to here. All right, good deal. Just leaving from that landscape prospect and just landed that. Yard cleanup for 2 houses. I put that price at $600. Probably could have put it even higher, but she had me under the gun to give her a quote right then and there. At first I told her $500 and she jumped on that immediately. I said, but listen, I mean, we just walked it very quickly. I said, I really need to go back and look at it one more time. I said, because there's a couple of things I try to do here. First of all, I need to see how long it's going to take us to get this done. I estimated that it would take 2 days to get it done. I should have had my numbers better in order, which are, you know, how much am I trying to make per day? I need to be making $250. My guy needs to be making his 8 hours. So realistically, per day, we're about $450 to, we're about $350 a day. So realistically, I should have put that number at $700. Should have put that number at $700, but I didn't. I put it at $600. We don't have to take any of the debris away, so that's a plus. Just got to cut it all down and pile it up neatly. Bag up what we can bag up. So hopefully we can get started on that job tomorrow. It's going to be quite a bit of work. There are some big old spiders up in there too. Big old ugly looking mean spiders. I'm looking at things that we're going to need. We're going to need the weed eater that's going to be, we need a great weed eater. We need a pair of loppers. We need the chainsaw. We need clear trash bags. And there's also the potential that I could sell her on some pressure washing work as well. There's a lot of pressure washing work in that neighborhood. So I'm going to pull a TikTok move. And if we can bag the pressure washing gig, then I'm going to go knock on some doors and try to get us some additional pressure washing. Hey, we're pressure washing in your neighborhood. We noticed that your house could use some pressure washing too. Would you like to sign on for 175 bucks, get your house pressure washed? If you can pressure wash a house in 4 hours or less, it makes it worth it. But I was trying to sell her on other work too. I gave her my business card, you know, hey, we do everything. And she was telling me that she's already signed a contract for somebody to come do some drywall repairs. And I'm like, damn, man, I wish we could have got that. Damn, I wish we could have got that. But we got the landscape. And now the deal is we got to get that landscape done. We got to get that landscape done in a day and a half for that job to be worth it. And I think that we can. I mean, we might even be able to get the damn job done in a day, just to be honest. Grind it out. A day and a half easily. So, here's the hoping. All right, I got to dump this debris in the back of my truck. That's the next thing that I need to do. I need to call my guy Gene and make sure that he's available to start tomorrow. I told the lady we could either start this tomorrow or the following day. So Tuesday or Wednesday is a good start day. And we got to get it done in a day and a half to make it worth my time. Well, I decided to be a good boy and I decided to come up to the dump. And I knew that that was a mistake. Oh yeah, I can go in the residential line. Ah, yeah. A little busy today. We'll be here for a little while, but hey, the good news is this is for free. Shit, all I got is a little bit of drywall in the back of the truck. I ain't got much really. I got that guy in the wrong damn line. I guess you just go on whatever line you feel like you're gonna go in, right? Damn, it's a tight squeeze. No, it's trash day in the city. Remember we used to come up here all the time? So what I didn't realize is I get 12 free dumps a year, even not being a resident of this city anymore. And that is awesome. Thank you, ma'am. Whew. Good luck, buddy. It's a long line up there. Boy, it's a long line. Yeah, it is. All right, well, we did the right thing. We went and dumped it the legal way. Now, I need to get to the storage unit, check on the chainsaw, find my loppers. Maybe even got to go to Lowe's, get a couple of things. All right, I went to Lowe's. I didn't buy a weed eater because they didn't have a cheap one, which is crazy. They used to have this guy right here, and this guy used to be like 80 bucks. So this is a broken weed eater that I had, and It was actually in relatively newer condition. You can tell because it's still got the damn guard on it. And the housing is still, for the most part, put together. But what ended up happening was the drawstring had broke. So I just tied the drawstring back together. And hopefully we're going to be able to get this guy started. Now I lose a little bit of, I lose at least one rotation here with this being out the way that it is. And it doesn't even really want to retract. So no telling if that's going to work or not. It would be great if it did. Joe fixes stuff, but I don't have a lot of faith in this. We're about to go see real quick. Could you imagine us pulling up on the landscape job with the pull cord just hanging off like that? Look at all the dirt and debris that was in there. Don't tell my wife I'm working on power tools or lawn care equipment on the countertop. All right, let's see if we can get this sucker to turn over. I doubt we can. Ooh. Okay, getting a little action out of her. Still got fuel in it. You know that fuel old as shit. Okay. Choke game on. Let's see what she does. I can't get much rotation on her.